When I was growing up under communism, we were one of the only families that were talking about the things of the Bible and the times that are coming, the gospel and all of that. The surrounding around me was very secular. People did not think about spiritual things at all. So it's kind of weird now that the world has changed so much and spiritualism is claimed by many people. But I cannot deny that even within the church, secularism and being driven by the material still takes dominance over the spiritual. Or another tendency that exists nowadays is also, besides secularism, is mysticism, where direct revelation from God, reliance on the emotions, takes predominance over the teachings of the Bible. People claim, like during the Dark Ages, that the Bible cannot be understood. Because there are many interpretations and different denominations, people choose to build their spirituality elsewhere. We're studying right now Revelation chapter 9, the fifth trumpet. And how we interpret what we see will depend on how we prepare for it. Because this trumpet is talking about a star that falls from heaven. You see smoke and you see darkness, complete darkness, and you see these locusts. They're prepared for battle. They have crowns of gold. Their faces resemble human faces, but they have hair like hair of woman. Their teeth is like lion's teeth, and they have breastplates. They have wings, like the thundering of many horses and chariots rushing into battle. They have tails with stingers like scorpions, and in their tails they had power to torment people for 5 months. The agony of people was so bad that people wanted to die. So, what do you make out of that? If you think that this is about military conflicts and wars, some people say this is the drones, these are helicopters, or a lack of better words. John describes them like that. Dr. Pauline summarizes the fifth trumpet as the triumph of secularism. And according to him, this is the time we live in today. There has been a corresponding increase of drug abuse, addictions of various kinds, general sense of anxiety, the presence of smoke that comes from the bottomless pit. Some theologians pair it to religion, which appeals more to the emotions while laying aside the mind. It can have all of the appeal of Eastern mysticism while professing to also uphold many aspects of Christianity. The fifth trumpet warns of the danger of any form of religion or absence of religion, which darkens our understanding of the good news about Jesus. These locusts, they sting like a scorpion, and the scorpion sting is one of the most painful things a human can endure. But the good news in this picture is that the people of God, they're protected from these disasters. And this is why many theologians think that this locust, it's not really about a military battle, but it's more a conflict of spiritual nature, because those who have their mind set on him are protected from this torture. So it makes more sense that it's a spiritual eternal conflict. 10:17, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. Jesus said, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Then maybe to prepare for times like this, people would think about more physical preparation, bring food and having shelters. But what if all of this is describing a spiritual conflict? Because the book of Revelation is all about symbolism. When it talks about a star falling down, it definitely talks about Satan and the smoke coming from the bottomless pit, the release of demonic power. I think that most theologians agree. We're talking about the release of demonic powers like never before. These demonic powers are going to have crowns of conquerors. So they will have success, have tails with which they will torture people. According to Isaiah, tails are a symbol of a false prophet. So some interpreters say that it might be about all of this torment of this conflict. Start with the conflict over the mind, ideological conflict, because that has been the conflict from the beginning. Do I trust God because He said so, or do I trust myself, and do I trust human philosophies? See what 2 Corinthians says. Though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments, every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. I love this so much. Ephesians 6. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground after you have done everything to stand firm then. So could it be that it is false doctrine that causes the anguish? It is the deeper meaning, not the surface meaning of the text which counts. Could it be that hell, which is the instrument of the attack, is actually false doctrine?